While 41 out of the 55 African countries have ratified the AU Convention on Preventing and Combating Corruption, none have agreed to be subjected to the Advisory Commission's reporting mechanism.
We do not get a response, and that to us is a big challenge because we are working on diplomatic channels and we need to get the information back, we need to get feedback, we need to know whether they comply with the convention, but again we don't get the response.
This revelation now raises questions over the African government's commitment in the fight against corruption and illicit financial flows.
We should even be further concerned that the board has actually reported that they are unable to compel state parties to do treaty reporting. So if there is no reporting, what other mechanism do they use to get information from governments?
Its heart is in the right place, the commitments are in the right place. The legislation is there, the infrastructure is there. The challenge remains one of political will. And increasingly, I'm convinced political will sometimes must be driven by citizen demand.
With some estimates putting Africa's losses to corruption and capital flight at $148 billion, members of the civil society gathered in Kigali agreed that the continent has enough laws to slay the dragon. So, what is left?
The experience from the Caribbean has been one where we have the political will, and we also have a system of a mutual evaluation. It's a peer review system, and it goes more than naming and shaming. It results in countries being blacklisted by way of example if they do not meet the necessary recommendations.
This fight is such a big fight because you're fighting against the most powerful nations and the most powerful multinational corporations, some of which are richer than countries. So it's not a fight that individual African countries can win on their own, which is why we need unity and common positions, such as a common African position on asset recovery that is being worked on now. When we take a common position as 55 states, everybody, the world, the UN, Europe, the Americas, everybody will hear us.
Resolutions from the three-day meeting will be presented to the African Union heads of state during their summit in January next year. Sarah Kimani, SABC News, Kigali, Rwanda.